Hey everyone, today we'll learn how to build Hangman game using Python. Well, Hangman is one of the famous guessing games in which the player is asked to guess a word. So, if he guesses it correctly within the given number of attempts, he wins. But the interesting part is when the user guesses a wrong letter, that is when the Hangman comes into play. Now, let me show you what happens in the game. As you can see, this is the Hangman stand and this is the row of dashes that represent the word that has to be guessed. Now let's play. Let's guess a letter. A. Great guess. Guess the next. So E is not in that word. Let's keep on guessing. So here I've given E, but it shows already guessed. Here is what you have guessed. So guys, the letters that you have already guessed have been stored in a separate list. Now let's guess another letter. Yeah. So the word is political. Since we haven't found the word, it says you lost, try again. And suppose if you want to play again, you can click on 1. So the game has re-begun. So guys, this is how the game looks. Now let's look into the step-by-step algorithm on how to build this game using Python. So the step 1 is generating the word to be guessed. So basically this word is generated from a file which consists of many words. Since each time a new word must occur, it must be randomly generated from the file. Guys, this is the file which consists of nearly 1000 words. You can also add some more if you would like to. So guys, let's get started. Now let's create a function named random word. Where we will generate a random word from the file FREQ by using the module random. So now let's import the random module. Import random. Now inside this function, open the file by using the open method. File is equal to open of. Give the file name. And then read all the words from the file by using the read lines method. Words is equal to file dot read lines of. From these words, we must randomly generate a word. So for that, let's create another variable called as my word is equal to random dot choice of words. Let's do some formatting. Strip is an inbuilt function which will return the word after removing the leading and trailing characters. So in the same way, let's also try to remove the unwanted characters like square brackets, single quotes, new line, and carriage written. Now for new line, give \n. And for carriage written, give \r. And finally, convert the word into lowercase. My word dot lower of. Finally, return my word. Now coming to the next step, here we have to create the row of dashes in which the guessed letter can be inserted. Now let's create another function named Hangman. So you can consider this to be the main function, and inside which let's print, let's play Hangman. And give a new line. And now to create the row of dashes, let's first assign the randomly generated word in a variable called as word and call the random word function here. And then let's declare another variable called as blanks. Give an underscore. So this is how you can display the rows of dashes according to the length of the randomly generated word. And finally, create a list. Let's name it blanks list and convert the blanks into a list by using the list function, list of blanks. And finally, print the blanks list. Print. Let's give a new line and plus dot join of blanks list. So this will display the row of dashes. So as you can see, the next step is asking the user to guess the word. Here you have many conditions to handle. You can do it by using conditional constructs. So these are the conditions that we must deal with, like if the player enters more than one letter at a time. Suppose if the player hits enter without entering any letter. Suppose if the player repeats the letter that has been already guessed, then you have to display the list of guessed letters. And then if all the above conditions have failed, we must append the guessed letter to the list of guessed letters. Suppose if the guessed letter is wrong, then we must ask the user to guess again. Suppose if the guessed letter is correct, then we must insert that letter in the correct position. Finally, if the whole word is guessed correctly, the player wins. Or if only the guessed letter is correct, we must ask the user to guess the next word. Now let's look at how to implement all those conditions in this function. First, let's declare a variable called as guesses is equal to 0. And then let's ask the user to guess a letter by printing it. Guess a letter. Now let's set the number of guesses or the number of attempts the user has as 6 by using a while loop. While guesses lesser than 6, then get the input from the user. So here I've given a front arrow where the user can enter the letters and then convert the guessed letter into lowercase. Guess dot lower off. Now coming to the first condition, if the player enters more than one letter at a time. So this can be handled by an if condition. If the length of the letter is greater than 1, then let's prompt a message saying please enter one letter at a time. If len of guess is greater than 1, then print. Now let's move on to the next condition. If the player hits enter without entering any letter. So guys, let's handle this condition by using an elif statement. Elif guess is equal to empty space print enter a letter. Now the third condition would be if the player repeats the letter that he has already guessed, then we have to display the list of guessed letters. So here let's create an empty list called as guess list Here is where all the guessed letters will get stored. Let's use another elif statement. Elif guess in guess list print and then print the guest list. Not join of guest list. Now coming to the next condition, if all of the above conditions fail, we can use an else block to append the guest letter to the list of guest letters. Else guest list dot append of guess. Now run a loop through all the letters of the given word. First, let's declare I is equal to 0 and use a while loop. While I less than len of word. So here, if the guessed letter equals any of the letter in the given word, then we must store the guessed word in a new list. So now let's create a new list. New blanks list is equal to list of blanks. So this is where the guessed letter will be inserted. And also let's convert the random word into a list. So only when you convert a string to a list, you can access it easily. Now inside the while loop, if guess is equal to word of I, if the guessed letter is in the given word, then store that letter in the new blanks list. Word list of I. Finally, increment I. I is equal to I plus 1. So that it runs through all the letters of the given word. Now let's move on to the next condition. If the guessed letter is wrong, then we must ask the user to guess it again. So let's use an if condition to do so. If new blanks list is equal to blanks list, then print. So after each wrong guess, increment guesses by 1. And then print the hangman. So guys, this is a function where we will design the hangman. For now, let's just call it. And later, let's define the function. So in here, pass the guesses as well as the word. Let's ask the user to guess it again. For that, write another condition. If guesses is less than 6, print guess again. And then add the wrongly guessed letter to the blanks list. Now let's move on to the next condition. If the guessed letter is correct, then we must insert that letter in the correct position. So for this, let's use the elif statement. Elif word list is not equal to blanks list, then blank list is equal to new blank list, and also store this letter inside the blanks list. Now join blanks list. Finally, if the whole word is guessed correctly, the player wins. For this, let's use an if condition. If word list is equal to blanks list, when the given word matches with the guessed word, print, and then let's also print do you want to play again? If so, press 1 for yes and 2 for no. And then declare a variable again is equal to input of if again. So if the user wants to play again, call the function again, and finally quit. The next condition is if only the guessed letter is correct, ask the user to guess the next letter. Let's use an else statement. Else print, and finally call the main function. Now coming to the next step, design the hangman according to the guesses. So for each wrong guess, one element is added to the hangman. Let's see how to design the hangman. Like discussed earlier, let's define the print design function. Print design and pass the guesses, comma, word. So if we remember, when the game begins, the hangman stand alone will be displayed, which means guesses will be equal to 0. So if guesses is equal to 0, so this is how you can design the hangman stand by using simple print statements and new lines. Similarly, let's use an elif condition to design the hangman if guesses is equal to 1. Elif guesses is equal to 1. So I have added the hangman's head here. Now let's do the same for all the 6 guesses. So this is how you can design the hangman. Now the last step is, if the hangman is fully drawn, then we must print the message you lost and then add the replay functionality by calling the main function again. Let's see how to do it. First I've displayed the correct word and then display the message you lost. Try again. And then this is the functionality for replay. So when the user clicks on 1, the hangman function is called again. Now let's not forget to call the hangman function after this so that it displays the hangman, and then pass the guesses as well as the word. Now click on run. So guys, this is the hangman stand, and we must guess a word that consists of 5 letters. Let's play. I guess it will be point. Let's give no. Process finished with exit code 0. So this is how you can build Hangman game using Python. Try implementing some more functionalities. See you all.
Hey YouTube, how are you doing? Stay tuned to Facebook for more awesome videos. Don't forget to subscribe.